All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to join us. Yes, indeed. What are we going to talk about today? Homeschool your kids. What is it? It's GYKOPS. It's Guy Cops. Guy Cops, get your kids out of public schools. And we're going to tell you even more reasons why, in case you haven't been convinced yet. We've got a Brownells bullet points for you freaks and freakettes. And, of course, like always, we have a Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by our good friends at Crossbreed Holsters. And I want you guys to listen a little bit louder today. All right? Listen a little bit louder while Zach plays the rock and roll gunfight music.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Oh, Brownells bullet points today. Unless we have anything else that we need to Zach.
Yeah, at the top of the hour. What?
Yeah, top of the hour. And before we get into the Brownells bullet points, why don't you remind everybody about the gun mats, the official Student of the Gun cleaning mats.
Yes, indeedy do. We got the official Student of the gun cleaning mats that we have been hinting at for a little while now. That are
Is that what it's going to look like?
Correct. That's what it's going to look like. And as you can see, if you're looking at the screen, or if you're watching the video rather, it comes with a free, during this pre-order, exclusively during the pre-order, you will get a free quarter of an ounce bottle of EDC CLP gun lube. It's pretty cool little stuff. It's from our pal compadre El Jefe. And he's been gracious enough to allow us to give this to you guys exclusively during the pre-order. But yeah, no, it's going to be 12 by 17 by 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters long, 12 inches thick. I'm kidding, obviously. 3 millimeters thick, 12 inches long, 17 inches wide, 12 inches high. And they're available right now at, wait for it, shopsotg.com. I had to type it into the thing right there so you can.
I was going to say, did you have to think about that?
It took me a second to type it in.
I'm the one who forgets the web addresses.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be the one.
I am not supposed to be the one. You're right. No, I remembered I just had to type it out real quick. But yeah, shopsotg.com. Go and pre-order yourself a gun mat today to get your free complimentary bottle of the EDC CLP, and you can give that a try out. And that's all I got to say.
And if you're wondering what that's all about,
that's what
what is the science behind it? And I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. They actually have a website called edcclp.com. Everyday carry, cleaner, lubricant, protectant. All right. So, but the most important thing is that you pre-order one of the gun mats and get your free CLP. That's the most important thing. All right. Now it's time to go to Brownells bullet points from Brownells, amazingly enough. Boom. All right, Brownells bullet points. I went to brownells.com today, and quite frankly, I go there often just looking for inspiration. Like, what am I going to talk about? What things am I going to talk about? They actually are running a sale on something that's extremely important, and I want you guys to think about it. It's been a little while. Maybe it was a year or two ago, but I was at it was a public land. I drove onto some public land, and there was a family. I'm guessing it was a family. They were there, a pickup truck. They got out, and they had purchased one of those clay throwers that you get from Walmart. The ones you just jam into the ground, and they don't have a seat or anything. But the super, I guess, kind of like the clay target starter kit. You know what I mean? You go to Walmart and you buy the thrower, the spring launch thrower, and you buy a box of clays and a bunch of targets, and you go out there.
I would think that the starter kit is the little, like the tennis ball thrower that they got.
Yeah,
we just whip with your arm and you break
that's
3 out of 4 of them.
They get the hand thrower. That's what we did. I went.
I remember that. Yeah,
15 years ago. It's probably been at least 15 or more by now. Got the hand thrower, and I'm like, okay, we did that 3 or 4 times. This is bull crap.
Let's go buy the other one.
let's just spend the $37 or $42 or whatever on the spring launch thrower, and then you get that, and you're like, wouldn't it be better if we actually had like the seat and stuff? Then you're like, okay, well, we'll get the bigger one that has the seat and it's adjustable, and you throw them sideways and all that jazz. So yeah, it's kind of like the gateway drug. But that's not what I don't want to talk about sporting clays. Or what I want to talk about was I saw them out there with their shotguns, and people were standing around, and the people that weren't shooting were standing behind the shooter with their fingers in their ears. This is moms. I don't know if there's moms there, but there was like dads, uncles, kids, right? And I looked, and nobody had eye protection on, unless maybe they had a pair of sunglasses or something, right? So they're standing there with their fingers in their ears, right? The people who were shooting the shotguns weren't able to put their fingers in their ears because they had a shotgun in their hand. And I thought, you know what? I'm really glad that this family is engaging in the shooting sports. That's awesome. Go team. But you're screwing up. You're messing up. There's no reason not to have ear and eye protection. I mean, a whole entire jar of foamy earplugs is like, it's like $8 for 100 or something like that. Here we go. Brownells has the Walker's Game Ear Foamy Plug. It's like a big screw top jar, 50 pair. All right, so 50 pair is 100. If you're doing mathematics there, on sale for $7. All right, so it's like pennies a set. Eye protection, wraparound eye protection, shatterproof eye protection, $3.99. There's no excuse not to. There's absolutely no excuse for people on a firing range to be standing there with their fingers in their ears. That's amateur hour. That is total amateur hour.
I would say that's where new shooters come in. They don't kind of understand what options there are. I think that's what that is. That, and probably, I don't know that's family specifically, but from what I've seen in my limited experience with people, is that there's two groups. There's the people that they don't know what their options are, and then there's the group that's like just stubborn and they don't want to make changes to the way that they've done things, so that they're going to stand there with their fingers in their ears. If you are part of the new shooter group that just doesn't know your options, then we have a couple articles for you on StudentOfTheGun.com. We'll link them directly in the notes here. If you're part of the other group that's just too stubborn to make changes, then just listen up. Listen up, hippies.
Go to your truck, open up your door, stick your head in, and slam it a couple of times. Yeah. All right, now go buy some freaking eye protection for your kids. Yeah. If you got a 10-year-old kid standing there watching you shoot clays, and they're having to put their fingers in their ears and they got no eye protection on, you're wrong. All right, that's just wrong. I bet they wore a seatbelt on the way to the range. Well, maybe not, but. The fact of the matter is, it's not expensive. It's not hard to find. And right now, this is where we're at. Okay, and if you want the good stuff, here's the thing. It's 2020 right now. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the digital electronic muffs were kind of hit and miss. And if you could find them, the ones that actually worked were really expensive. But today, in our modern world, really good digital ear protection is not expensive. And Brownells just put all their digital ear pro on sale. It's all on sale. And I just added one to my cart. Walker Game Ears, it's a Coyote Tan set. I just threw it in the cart. I'm going to buy it. It's a razor slim shooter folding earmuffs, and they're on sale for $39.
Boom.
Normally $51, on sale for $39. They use two AAA batteries. There's no excuse for you not to protect your hearing and to protect your vision. And the thing about the ear protection, is if you're standing there and somebody fires a shot and it's like, and you grab and you cover your ears and you're like, okay, well, I'll protect my ears for the successive shots or whatever. If something flies into your eye, there's no second chance. Debris, and anytime you're shooting a firearm,
I can just get a new
there's
eye.
a chance of debris.
A new eye is way cheaper than eye protection. I don't understand what your problem is.
Yeah, eye surgery is cheaper than eye protection. Yeah. All right, $3.99 for a good shatterproof set of eye pro. What's your deductible for an emergency room visit?
What?
What? No, that wouldn't happen. That doesn't happen. Oh, okay. And $39.99 for ear pro, as opposed to $1,000 for hearing aids that you're going to need because you're deaf and you can't freaking hear.
And that doesn't even account for what you're going to miss from your grandkids or whatever, because your hearing is gone. So
yeah, the fact is, stop being a rockhead. It's 2020. All right, there's no excuse at this point in time not to do the right thing. Maybe 30 years ago, maybe whatever. 35 years ago, 40 years ago, when I was young, when I started shooting a 22 rifle, whatever, I didn't know better. People said stupid stuff like, "Oh, it's only 22, it won't hurt your ears," or, "Well, with a shotgun, you're only going to shoot a few rounds, so it's not enough to damage your ears." Yes, it is. One blast from a 12 gauge is enough to do permanent hearing damage. One. All right. But I had people, adults say stupid stuff like, "Oh, your ears will toughen up," or "Your ears will get used to it."
Yeah.
It's called going deaf, moron. Your ears getting used to it is the cochlea being destroyed. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, eventually the gunshots won't bother you at all because you won't be able to hear anything. No, there you go.
Now, there are some benefits of not being able to hear certain pitches. We know that.
Yeah, you don't hear the dog whining.
Oh, that's funny.
And then the dog
Don't
pees
you
on the
hear the
floor.
dog whining? Nope, I don't. So, and here's the deal: Brownells bullet points. If you're like, well, there's no excuse, none. Sorry, you're out of excuses. The only reason you don't have eye and ear pro for everybody in the family is because you're a lazy slug. End of story. And Brownells, like I said, they just put all their stuff on sale, so it's even less expensive than it was before. Now, what's your excuse? Exactly. That's what I thought. Exactly. Do the right thing. Just don't be a rockhead. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A., wants you to not to be a rockhead either. They've got rifles, pistols. They've got magazines, accessories, pistol grips, ammunition, surplus stuff, all that jazz. Check them out at centuryarms.com. Durcoat wants you to not have an ugly gun or an ugly mailbox or ugly anything. I mean, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But check these guys out. What?
Ammo can.
What? Ammo can. Yes, thank you, Zach. I looked up at Jared, and I didn't see his mouth moving. I thought that was Jared talking. Yeah, they don't. Ammo cans, you name it. Just go Durcoat crazy. Check those guys out. Do participate in the Badass Challenge. I would highly recommend that you do that. SWAT Fuel wants you to have a stronger body, sharper mind. Right now, get started. Quit making excuses. Use the promo code SOTG. Yes, do that, and you'll save money, and you'll be a happy camper.
Money.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
The exception to the ear pro
Hit me.
rule is if you live in free America and you just use cans.
Yeah, I say if the decibels are not high enough to damage your hearing, then you don't need ear protection.
Right. And if you live in free America and you put suppressors, silencers, gun mufflers, if you put a gun muffler on your pistol or rifle, then you're just a happy camper. And it's The one that I'm really super impressed with is the 6.5 Creedmoor, that Mossberg rifle. It's got a long barrel anyway.
You gotta hit that Creedmoor.
I got a Creedmoor. Yeah, Creedmoor. Yeah, Creedmoor. That thing suppresses tremendously well. And when I shoot that, I'm amazed at how quiet it is. It's so quiet that when you fire it, like I know when the prairie dog got hit by the bullet because I hear thwop. I hear that distinctive thwop sound as it comes apart because it's that quiet. So yeah, but I still wear iPro. I still wear iPro. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our Student of the Gun homeroom, brought to you by our good friends at crossbreedholsters.com. All right. What are we going to talk about today? Well, what is the main theme of our Crossbreed Holsters?
Of the homeroom segment?
Yeah. What's the main thing?
Dangerous on demand.
That's right. To be dangerous on demand. So if you recall, we're gonna take you back, and boys, I'm just about to drop this in. Bam. All right. So if you recall, way back at the beginning of the COVID, the Kung flu panic, March 23rd. This is when we did the show from out by the wood burner.
Yeah.
On the round table.
Yep.
We talked about Cincinnati and how starting Tuesday, Cincinnati PD won't respond in person to the following calls. Remember we talked about this. This is the same time we did the one with California about pimping.
Yeah.
And stuff like.
And then the New York, how to have sexual relations during COVID.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. How could we forget the classic episodes? Yeah. How to have sex during COVID. So they put out a public memorandum. So listen up, criminals. If you're thinking that you want to do some stuff, we will not respond in person to the following complaints because of the Kung flu. Assaults where no medical attention was necessary, or the suspect is no longer present, and the suspect is no longer present. Okay? So somebody punches you in the face and takes off, and you call and you're like, hey, I've been assaulted. And they're like, yeah, sucks to be you. Breaking and entering where the suspect isn't still there. Well, we're not coming. So you call and you're like, someone broke into my house. Are they there now? Well, no, they stole my stuff and left. Well, we ain't coming. Okay. Criminal damaging reports, not coming. Dog bites, not coming. Lost property, not coming. Lost or stolen license plates, not coming. Menacing, unless the suspect is expected to return. How do you predict the future? Well, hey, this guy said he's going to kill me or whatever, and he's going to beat me up. Well, do you expect that he'll return?
Or if he threatens to return.
I don't know. What do you mean? We expect what? Hey, are you going to come back, or is this a one-time thing? We're not coming. Phone harassment, not coming. Property damage, not coming. So basically, they put out the theft reports less than $5,000, yada, yada, yada. And they're not the only ones. Cincinnati's not the only ones. A lot of cities did this. They did it in California. Pimping, what negligent homicide?
Yeah, it was. I don't remember exactly the list, but it was crazy. I was like, huh.
Stolen car, not coming. Pimping, not coming. Just whatever. You're on your own.
I have a question.
So, go ahead.
Are our tax dollars still being spent in the same way that they were? Are they still receiving the same amount of money for those services that they're now not providing, or are they going to limit the budget also?
Do we get a refund?
Yeah.
Do the taxpayers
we definitely don't get a refund.
Yes.
The money will be reallocated somewhere else. But are they taking a hit in their budget, or are they still collecting the money as normal?
Yeah, yeah. No, only peasants are the ones that lose paychecks and lose money. The government don't lose no money. No one who works for the government missed a paycheck. Okay, because they're the important people. So that was only 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, Cincinnati PD put out a public notification. Hey, but guys, Kung Flu, we ain't coming, so don't even call. Compare that to today. We've got a story from April 28th, which was actually not even 2 months. It was like 6 weeks later.
Wow.
5 weeks later.
Yep. So
from Fox19.com.
I like this first sentence, or the first part of this first sentence. It says, violent crimes is shooting up. That's kind of it's clever.
It says crimes. Violent crimes is
shooting up.
Do that be good English?
That'd be good. People don't think that'd be good English, but it do.
But it do.
Violent crimes is shooting up in Cincinnati amid the once-in-a-lifetime coronavirus pandemic. Once in a lifetime, hopefully, that is preventing its police force from deploying all of its crime-fighting tactics. Homicides are up. Holy crap. Homicides are up 115% so far this year.
Okay. Hang on
Holy cow.
Let's compare this to normal human reality. What have we said and what have we reminded you guys about? FBI uniform crime statistics. If a particular statistic shows a 5% increase or decrease, either way, it's either good news or bad news. If there's a greater than 5% increase in a certain area, it is, quote, an area of concern, right? So, like, if your burglaries jumped 5% or 6% over a period of 1 year, that is an area of concern. What do we call a 115% increase in murders?
That is what we call a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic opportunity.
Opportunity for murderers. So, hey, murderers.
Well,
there's somebody you want to whack.
Yeah.
Get on it.
It says homicides, so I assume that includes justifiable and, like, murder. However, if justifiable homicides are up, then the crime that was committed to make that homicide justifiable is also up. So It doesn't matter if it's justifiable or not. 100%, 115% increase is insane. Now, if you talk about the actual numbers, it's still pretty low. But the increase is insane. It doubled. It went from 12 this time in 2019 to 28 in right now. That's crazy. Yeah. And then it says
12 murders in 2019 at this point, and that's from like January 1st to this date.
Yeah.
They start counting. So in 2019, from January 1st to April 28th, they had 12. And in 2020, from January 1st to then, they had 28 murders. And this is not. I feel fairly certain that they're not talking about justifiable homicides. I think they're straight up murder. But here, read the quote from the chief.
Quote, of our 28 homicides, 25 of those are gun-related. The other 3 are by other means, which is a little bit higher than we normally see, end quote. Then it says shootings so far this year are up by 52% compared to this time last year, with 120 total. He said out of those 95 were non-fatal. Didn't Cincinnati release prisoners?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I just wondered.
Cincinnati let prisoners out.
So they let prisoners out and also stopped going to calls. Okay.
What's your problem? We got to keep people safe from the Kung Flu.
At the same time, police have been unable to do some proactive and preventative measures, such as distributing flyers, community sweeps, and putting the gunshot detective system ShotSpotter in Westwood.
Oh, did this story just say proactive and preventative measures such as
distributing flyers?
Distributing. So normally. Let me wrap my head around this.
Those
so
flyers
what this news story is saying that if it wasn't for the Kung flu, the police could be out there in force distributing flyers. Because that's how you stop murder in your community. You're like, there's a bunch of killers and murders and drug-related homicides and stuff like that. And what are we going to do? Well, have you tried flyers? Have you tried handouts? Well, no. What kind of handouts? Should they be like two-sided, or should they be threefold, or you want them full color?
We've got to have a centerfold handout.
I wonder, Jared, if they've done a study yet to determine whether black and white flyers or color flyers are more effective at stopping homicide.
Well, that's racist.
Well, we got to find out. You don't know until you do. I need a $1 million grant. That's what I need. I'm gonna announce this right now. I need a $1 million grant to study the effectiveness or lack thereof of black and white flyers, anti-homicide flyers, and full color, threefold, centerfold, anti-homicide fly. Jared, some of our smart people in the audience are like, oh, Mr. Cotter, didn't you have a story like this before? And we did. It was in New Orleans. Do you remember now?
Yeah. There's some other crime stats here. It says auto thefts are up by 31%.
Oh, that can't be.
Personal thefts are actually down. Burglaries are down. Theft from autos are down. Aggravated assaults are up nearly 21%. Robberies are up 31%. And good news is rapes are down 30%. So that's
good. Rapes are down. Robberies are up. So is this a trade-off? You're like, well, people are getting people are getting assaulted and murdered. There's more murders and there's more assaults and there's more robberies, but rape is down. So take the good with the bad, right? Oh, no. Yeah. The flyer thing. Do you remember that, Jared and Zach? This has been a couple of years ago when New Orleans came up with a flyer. They were taking them around the districts. Like, hey, man, I know you's going to murder Cleophas tomorrow, but that's not cool.
Yeah, I do not remember this, but I believe it happened.
What did the mayor of Baltimore say? Remember the quote from the mayor of Baltimore for the corona? Like, chill out until things get back to normal. That's how you get criminals to stop doing what. Maybe that's the problem in Cincinnati, is the mayor didn't do a special chill out news conference where they asked the gang members to just, hey man, just chill out. What did? Oh, you remember when on South Park when Jimmy and Timmy joined the Crips?
I do remember.
Oh, yeah.
They did lock in, and they got the Crips and the Bloods together at a good old fashioned lock in.
Yep.
And Jimmy's like, hey, come on. And the Bloods and the Crips are like, yeah. Hey, come on. Let's just stop shooting and murdering each other because the mayor did a press conference and he's like, hey, can you just chill out until – but, of course, he didn't say, change your behavior entirely. What he said was just chill out until the Kung flu's over, and then you can go back to business as usual.
Jeez.
Because by that time, we'll have had time to print up more flyers for preventative measures. All right, if you live in Cincinnati, Ohio, you've got to be proud. I mean, you've got to walk around chest just beaming with pride, knowing that your police department they're knocking it out of the park, man. They're like, just give us a little while and we're going to print up some more flyers. We're going to do neighborhood sweeps. We're going to do the shot spotter.
Yeah.
Dude, if I lived in an area that had the shot spotter, there would be no end to the firecrackers that were thrown out of my car.
So
it would not end.
The goal of this, obviously, this segment is to make sure that you guys know that you need to be dangerous on demand. So you can do that. It's pretty easy. Go to crossbreedholsters.com. Use that promo code SOTG18 to pick up a holster, and it's the most comfortable inside the waistband holster that you'll ever wear. I'm wearing a Reckoning right now.
And as am I.
Yep. Or are you? We both got Reckonings.
But I'm wearing mine in a different way than you're wearing yours.
Yeah.
Wearing mine over the hip. So, yeah. So for those who would tell you that you don't need to carry a gun, you're just stupid and paranoid and you're asking for trouble because the police are there to help you. That's why we have cops. That's why we pay taxes and have cops, is so that stupid peasants like you don't have to carry a gun.
Yeah.
That's working out awesome in Cincinnati. It's working out great. Assaults are up. Robberies are up. Murders are up. But don't carry a gun. Just hand. You know what you need to carry? Apparently, you need to carry a flyer. We're not sure if it's a threefold full color flyer or if it's a two-sided black and white flyer. But, you know, according to Fox 19, Cincinnati police have been hindered in their ability because of the Kung flu to hand out flyers. So, this is really real. And you're like, oh, you're dumb, Paul. You're just making stuff up. Like, no, it actually says in the news story, crime prevention measures such as handing out flyers. Are we living on planet Dum Dum? I mean,
Planet Dum Dum.
Yes.
I like those Dum Dums. Okay.
Like, did we all go to sleep and wake up on planet Moron or what? Handing out flyers? Ugh. You know what happened? All these people in Cincinnati went to public school in the last 25 years. That's why they're like this. Yeah. Did we remind them how they're going to save money?
Yeah, we talked about that just a minute ago, remember?
Okay, good. All right, listen. I don't, doggone it, I don't have one. I don't have the slap in the face.
Doggone. You just slapped your own hand.
All right, so we got a story here from FoxNews.com. This is FoxNewsNational.com, and this is a slap in the face to parents, not just the parents of Parkland, not just the parents of Florida. This is a slap in the face to every parent of every child who has ever been told, well, especially if you have a school district that says, guns have no place in our schools because this is a place of learning and blah, 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 blah. And besides, we have school resource officers. Jared, you want to jump right into this one? I want you to read the bold headline, and this is published one day ago.
It says, deputy fired over Parkland school shooting to be reinstated with back pay. That's interesting. A Florida sheriff's sergeant who lost his job after it was discovered he hid behind his car when a shooter at a high school in Parkland first opened fire will reportedly get his job back with back pay. Sergeant Brian Miller, that's the dude he's of the Broward County Sheriff's Office. He was the first supervisor to respond to the 2018 shooting that took the lives of 17 students and staff at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. And an arbitration ruling this week found the sheriff's office violated Miller's constitutional due process rights and improperly terminated him. That's the BSO Deputies Association, a union that represents deputies and sergeants, said. Miller will also receive full back pay and get his seniority. He made more than $137,000 in 2018.
$137,000.
An investigation by the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission found that although Miller arrived as the first shots were fired, he failed to go into the school and didn't radio anyone for 10 minutes. Miller failed to coordinate or direct deputies' actions and did not direct or coordinate an immediate response into the school. Sergeant Miller's actions were ineffective, and he did not properly supervise the scene.
So this dude...
So you can't fire him because he did his job, apparently.
You can't fire him because... So if you can't fire someone for failing to do their job, then what can you fire them for?
Don't know. Isn't
that like the normal how you lose your job? You're like, well, your job was to do blank, and you didn't.
And when the most important time for you to do that job, you failed to do the job. So,
so what? This is insane. All right. And you know what? To this police union, go fornicate yourselves. And what's worse about this is what's worse. This is the really super insulting thing. That this guy has no shame. His cowardice and I'm sorry. And don't give me this crap about, oh, you don't know what you would do if it was you. All right, we're not talking about the average person. We're talking about someone whose job it is to do something. All right? We're told constantly by the scumbags on the left that we, the stupid peasants, shouldn't be allowed to carry guns. What did that scumbag Bloomberg say? Remember during when he was his run for president, when he said that this was right after the white settlement Texas church shooting, when an average citizen stopped people from being murdered in a church by using a gun. And he said, what? The average person has no business carrying a gun in public, because that's why we have police. Right?
Yep.
Remember when scumbag Bloomberg explained to that stupid peasant why it was okay for him to have armed security, but not for the peasants? Remember that? What did he say? Help me out, boys. What was Bloomberg's justification for why he gets to have armed bodyguards, but you can't?
Because they're highly trained and whatever the hell.
No, because he is a person of importance.
That was it.
If you were just more important, then you deserve it too.
But what did he say his bodyguards were?
Highly trained police officers. Police officers.
Cops.
Well,
Okay.
I said police
why don't you
officers.
just say it instead of trying to pull it out of us? Because clearly we don't know.
No, you said I didn't hear Zach say cops. Yeah,
I said police officers 3 times.
Okay, well, you cut out. He said they were highly trained police officers. Really? Jared, would you say that Sergeant Brian Miller, I mean, you don't become a sergeant like the second year out of the academy, right? I can tell you don't. In order to get the rank of sergeant on a large department, and Broward SO is big. It's a big department. You got to be there a while, right? Do you think he had any time to get training during that time when he was a patrolman, a deputy, or whatever? You think he had any time to get some training? I think he probably did. So the sergeant who shows up in the middle of an in-progress call, instead of coordinating the efforts of arriving units like you're supposed to do as a supervisor, or going directly toward the sound of gunfire to maybe stop that person from continuing and engage them, instead he hid behind his car. And rather than feel the justifiable public shame for his cowardice, he decided to fight. You know what? I deserve back pay, and I deserve to still be on the Broward County Sheriff's Department. Really? You're You're a piece of human excrement. That's what you are, Sergeant Brian Miller. You're a coward. You're a piece of excrement. And no, you don't deserve $137,000 of the people's tax money, which is where it comes from, in case you forgot. So we're supposed to trust that this guy is going to be back on duty, and then in the next emergency or crisis, he's going to do the right thing? And my question to you is, why would he? Why would he do the right thing during the next emergency?
Well, and not even that. It just takes a lot of time to train. If when you're under stress, that's what you do. It takes time and effort to train that out of yourself. You can, it's totally possible, but it takes a lot of time and effort to actually do that. So maybe not the best person to be in the position that he's in, because I don't think it's been enough time, and he probably hasn't had enough time to spend the effort training that out of him.
Well, if his life lesson from his blatant act of cowardice and incompetence and neglect was, you're not even going to be punished. Yeah. You were negligent. You were cowardly. You just didn't do your job. And his punishment was reinstatement and back pay. So what did he learn?
Nothing. Well,
because no consequences
he did learn something.
For his actions.
He learned that if I do something, there are no consequences.
That's what he learned. What he learned was there are no consequences for bad behavior. But we, the people, are told by snot-nosed little idiots like that puke bag, whatever, I'm not even going to say his name, that little puke bag. That's why we have police, and people don't need guns, and it's bad for people to have guns because we have 911. How'd that work out? How did 911 work out in Florida? Don't think it did. But yet, and here, ladies and gentlemen, the next time, this is a life lesson for my listeners. The next time you hear someone say, derp Parkland, derp gun control, you can say, oh, would you like to talk about Parkland and gun control? Let's talk about it. And then you can take the 10-pound sledge of facts and information and reality and crush their stupid skulls with it. Someone says, you think you should have guns, but that's why we have police, and it's the police job to do that. And you can't, the police's job. Say, well, right here, not only did the police not do their job, not only and we're not even talking about the RSO who ran the other direction. Okay, this is a different guy. You guys realize this is a different guy? Right? So, or is it the same guy? Is this the same guy? It didn't say it was the RSO. It says it was the first guy to arrive on scene. So, this is crazy. But here's the good news. The good news is this. Mr. and Mrs. America, since basically the end of March, the beginning of April, you've had to have homeschool your kids. And you didn't die. What's his name?
Chow.
Chow.
Leslie Chow.
What does Leslie Chow say?
But did you die?
But did you die? Oh, I had to keep my kids home and actually had to make them learn. Oh. But did you die? No, you didn't. A lovely, intelligent woman named Nancy Markle wrote an article called Homeschooling, Is It Really as Difficult as People Say? And the link is in the show notes. All right, the link is in the show notes, and you guys can read it. And what you probably learned, the life lesson, is what I think is interesting, is how the mainstream media, they got some college professor imbecile to go on record as saying is homeschool was bad because it leads to racism. Did you see that? Yeah.
What?
If you homeschool your kids, you're a racist. And it leads to extremist ideologies. And so we need to get kids out of the schools and into the public schools so that we can indoctrinate them properly. I really believe that's one of the big benefits is that people are going to realize they're going to be like, you know what? I can do this. I'm capable. Now, I know not everyone's going to. I know there are a lot of intellectually lazy people that are be like, I can't wait to get school zones. I can get my kids out of here, send them back into the socialist indoctrination centers. But what's the lesson from Parkland? The lesson from Parkland is you are not allowed to carry a gun to the school because you're a stupid peasant. Armed teachers are a bad idea because they're not professionals and we can't trust them. But it's okay because your school has an RSO program. But if some whack job psycho shows up with a gun,
right at the finishing line.
motherfucker, we couldn't get the last.
We're back.
3 minutes in.
We're back.
All right. Wait for that. Okay, it's gone. And finish up in 3, 2.
So the lesson that we learned from Parkland is stupid peasants like you aren't allowed to carry guns because it's too dangerous. It's against the law. Armed teachers are bad because they're not professionals, and it's their job to teach, not to carry guns. Because we have the RSO program in our school. But what we just learned is the cops can either A, run the other way, or B, hide, and while your kids are being murdered, and they don't even get punished for it. They get rewarded with back pay. My suggestion to you is simple. Guy Cops. GYKOPS. Get your kids out of public schools. They can't keep them safe. They don't want to keep them safe. And when they fail, like right in the face of the whole world, they don't even get punished. But you're told that you're a stupid peasant, and if you carry a gun on you as you take your kids to and from school, you could be arrested. It's nonsense. It's insanity. It's not as hard as you think. And a problem is not insurmountable because you don't want to accept the answer. The problem, public schools are indoctrination centers that don't give a crap about keeping your kids safe. And the problem, it's not an insurmountable problem because you don't want to accept the answer. Oh, yeah. So read the article. If you do nothing else, if you've got kids in public schools, do yourself a favor, go to the show notes, open it up, read the article, Homeschooling, Is It Really That Hard? By the lovely Nancy Markle, and then make a decision for yourself and do the right thing. All right, that's it. If you'd like to be with us tomorrow, I suggest you do.
Yep.
Thursday and Friday. It's going to be good. You're not going to want to miss it. You go to GetSOTG.com, sign up for the grad program today. And I know we've got a bunch of new grad program members, and I want you to be one of those. A lot of good stuff going on in the Student of the Gun grad program, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.